Hi there and welcome back to another NJS instructional video. In this video we're going to attempt to fix this Stihl 025 chainsaw which has its pull cord completely jammed. Now it could be a seized piston, but we'll go through a step-by-step process and try and identify the fault and see if we can get this chainsaw up and running again. Now the owner did mention that he was using this chainsaw, he turns it off and all of a sudden he couldn't pull on the starter cord. So it could be jammed internally, it could be a seized piston. Now the chainsaw's done a fair bit of work, you can tell by the scuff marks, the bar itself, the chain's quite loose, that can be fixed. Sharpness isn't too bad actually. Its mechanism is fully working over here, which is good. So it could be a simple fix or it could be something a little bit more serious. So let's start pulling it apart and having a look. Just put the choke all the way down and just slides off just like that. We'll take the air filter off, we'll take this plate off which we can use for summer or winter. In our climate it doesn't matter so much, and then we'll remove the spark plug. Now the spark plug looks quite used, so we might end up replacing that, and the carburetor looks really good actually. Its function is really good, so off position, run position, full choke position. Now usually if it's a seized piston, the piston will be right at the bottom. In this case it looks like it's at the top, so that's a good sign so far. From now we'll probably take off this cover plate here and see if the mechanism is actually good for the starter and just see if it's maybe a jammed flywheel. So I've just loosened those torque screws, so that'll come off. We'll just put it aside. Then this mechanism just comes off, should just slide off like that. Now we're just going to check the starter cord and its mechanism. So that's pulling freely, so there was no resistance in the actual cord, so the cord wasn't pulling because something else was jammed over here. Now it may be a little bit hard to see on camera, but there's a whole heap of like dust and not even sure what that is. A lot of debris, a lot of gunk in this actual area. It could be a cause of the flywheel jamming if it's not the piston seizing, I'm not too sure. Now there are in some models, and I don't know if it's applicable to this model, but we'll soon find out. There are some screws or bolts underneath the flywheel that are secured in the actual chainsaw or the engine. They can unravel and come loose and actually lift up, and then they can actually clash with the flywheel and it can actually stop it from spinning. Now I'm not too sure if that's the case, but that could be a possibility if it's not the piston actually seized. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the flywheel now. So I'm just going to undo this 13mm nut here using an impact wrench. That may actually free up the flywheel and may start rotating. If not, we'll undo it and just see what else is potentially blocking it if it's not a seized piston. Alright, so that flywheel has freed itself now, and that's a really good sign. So we've definitely got the piston rotating there. We've obviously taken out the spark plug. At least we've got movement, so we don't have a seized piston, which is really good. Alright. Now trying to move the flywheel by hand, it can be tricky. If no one's ever done it before, it can be very, very difficult. We might have to hammer it out. Don't pry it out, and we'll just see how we go. Now I've put some fairly thick cardboard underneath the chainsaw, probably about an inch or so thick, and the reason is when I hammer the crank, which is what you're meant to do to remove the flywheel, and I'm just going to use a long bolt to do it, it just gives a bit of a cushion underneath, so we're not going to do too much damage to the actual engine. So just a safer way of removing the flywheel. can be a little bit stubborn. Might have to give it a few attempts. And there we go, we've removed the flywheel. Now I'm just going to go over this chainsaw with some degreaser and get as much debris and gunk out of this area, and then we'll have another look at it, see if there's anything that stands out, and then put it all back together and see how we go. So I've just gone to remove the cover plate off, taken the nuts off, and I actually am struggling to get it off. There's that much gunk in here. So I'm just going to open that up, get some degreaser onto it and clean this right up. There we go. That's really, really bad. I've given everything a good clean with some degreaser, and as you can see that's come up really, really nice, almost like brand new. And on the other side I've just tried to clean as much dirt and debris off the chainsaw, and also some of the key parts here as well. I'm just going to put the flywheel back on loosely now, like that. Now that chainsaw is spinning. I can't really see where it caught. The only thing I can think of is with all that dirt and debris, and it's sitting around for a while, it was a possibility that it caused it to jam. But the odd thing is it actually happened when the chainsaw turned off, after it was being used. So it's a little bit strange, but it doesn't seem like there's anything catching. So there's no points along here where it could potentially catch with the flywheel. So we'll put everything back together. I'm going to put a brand new spark plug in as well. We'll put some fresh fuel, so we'll empty both the fuel and oil and also the bar oil over here, and just see if this chainsaw fires up. Now I've just finished draining the fuel and oil mixture and also the bar chain oil over there. The tank looks fairly clean, so we're going to put fresh fuel, fresh bar oil and see if this chainsaw fires up. So we have our fresh fuel and oil mixture over here and our fresh bar oil. We're going to attempt to start this chainsaw. If you want to know the easy way to start a chainsaw generally, check out the video in the link above. In the meantime, let's see how we can start this chainsaw. So there you have it, that's how we repaired this particular chainsaw. I believe it had more to do with a lack of servicing and maintenance than any major issues. And it just goes to show that keeping on top of the servicing and the maintenance of the machine can go a long way. And what we thought may have been a major problem didn't end up being a major problem at all. And the only part that we actually replaced on this chainsaw was the spark plug. I really hope you found this video informative. Don't forget to like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit that bell notification icon. Thanks for watching.